have an exceptional team of scientists that are now selecting the instruments that we will use. And that includes telescopes connected to cameras that will feed the data into computer systems that will analyze it and filter out the objects of interest. If we see a bird, we will not be particularly interested. If we see objects that have the label made in China or made in Russia, we would not be interested. We will transfer that data to anyone else, perhaps in Washington, D.C., who might be interested. And so the difference between us and telescopes that were used in the past by astronomers is that if a bird flies above a telescope of astronomers, they just ignore it, but we will look at it and we will try to identify objects that are unusual. And the hope is that we will have many telescope systems of this type so that we can distribute them in tens or hundreds of locations around the globe so that we cover more of the sky and have a good chance of detecting something unusual. And then the hope is that we will get a high resolution image of an unidentified aerial phenomena of the type that appeared in the report to the American Congress. The idea of the Galileo project is to collect new data that is open to the public, and the analysis will be transparent so that the public can analyze it itself. This way, we are bringing the subject that was previously in the talking points of politicians and military personnel and the national security advisors to the realm of science, where if we figure out the nature of these objects, we could submit a paper in a scientific journal for publication. What we know is that based on the reflection of sunlight, as the object was tumbling, we know that it was flat. If indeed sunlight pushed it away, as it was reflected off its surface, it had to be very thin. So one image I have in my mind is that maybe it was a receiver that was tumbling every 8 hours to collect data from probes in the solar system, in the habitable region of the solar system. And so it would look like a dish, a radio dish that is collecting data. But of course, we don't know for sure. And the way to find out is when the next object that looks weird, unlike a comet or an asteroid, shows up, and we should find more in the coming years, then we send a spacecraft that will come close to it and take a photograph, just like OSIRIS-REx took a photograph of the asteroid Bennu and actually landed on it. So imagine landing on a piece of equipment. We can press the buttons, and just like with a cell phone, we can perhaps see how it operates. Thank you so much, Pilar. It was a pleasure.